Still have plenty of pears. Well, in this little area. But it appears that the squirrels are starting to eat them as well. I'm seeing more and more on the ground, so I hope they'll let me get a few. The okra is really starting to grow. Now, I was out here earlier this morning. I picked 2 cucumbers, went through, thought I looked really good, and I'm out here this evening because I'm getting ready to turn the water on to water the garden, and I found 3 more. You just never know. You think you're looking meticulously, and you go through again. Oh, I see another one. I cut 3 more heads of cabbage and picked a nice little harvest of cucumbers. I think the cucumbers are really going to start coming on now, so I need to start preparing so I can make my pickles. It's been 7 days, so I've got the hoses, or I turned the water on. Jeffrey set the hoses up, so I'm gonna let the garden get watered for a few hours here this evening. It's been 7 days since we had a nice rain. Last year we were having trouble with the tripods, but I guess he's got them to work again, so, and they get a fairly large area. So I'm gonna let this water for a few hours here. And tomorrow I'll have to set one up over here to get the squash and tomatoes. I went ahead and cut the rest of the cabbage, and I'm going to try to can coleslaw, and I'm also going to try to make sauerkraut. Okra pods are forming. We'll be cutting okra soon. Got a Carolina Reaper here. I picked these green beans. We'll be picking green beans within the next few days. They are really starting to load up the bush. Lone little apple. I just took up all the hoops, and I'm getting ready to finish pulling up the netting that we had the cabbage under. Oh, I forgot a couple of hoops down here that we didn't have the cabbage, or didn't have the netting on. You hear our dog barking, gunshots. But I'm gonna finish pulling this up, and I'll show you what I picked for today. This is what Jeffrey was talking about the other day when he cut the cabbage. If you leave this on, little mini cabbages will form. I call them Brussels sprouts. But you can see little heads are forming. There, here, and here. Pull up one more. Each day there's more and more to pick in the garden, so I can honestly say by next week I think I'm really going to start to harvest a lot of vegetables. As I'm walking through the potatoes, I see that some of them are starting to die back, which means they're almost ready to harvest, or they're getting close to harvest. Did my walkthrough down here. We have a few zucchini and squash. They just need to get a little bigger here in this middle row. And then tomatoes, we have several green tomatoes, and there's fairly getting larger. The peppers are looking good as well. Bug flew over my mouth. Ooh. And now I'm gonna do a quick walk through here and see what I can get into. Next year, I'm gonna bring this landscaping fabric out a little further, because you see where the weeds are growing up here and the cucumbers are starting to attach themselves to these weeds. Now on the other side, we did take the landscaping fabric a little further because the cucumbers were starting to vine out. And I think maybe we need to take it a couple of rows over with the landscaping fabric, because they are really vining out. And when they attach themselves to the weeds, you can't pull the weeds up, so that's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna sit here on my stool while I go through these green beans and see what I can find. I picked a little mess the other day and I gave it to Daddy. Like I had stated, he was able to fill up 2 quart-sized bags, so that's a nice little helping for him. But I'm gonna continue to go down this line, and like I said, I'm sitting on my little footstool because bending over will break your back with these beans. Here's my little stool I sit on.
It's been 2 weeks since I fertilized. I'm getting ready to use my compost tea, which I made with chicken soup of the soil. I like to stir it up with a paint stirrer. Keep everything mixed up. I take a half a cup of my compost tea. Have a strainer bag just in case to pick up any trash, because I don't want it to clog my sprayer. Put about a cup of compost tea. The ratio that I used was a cup of my compost tea and 4 gallons of water, which you can either spray it on the ground or you can spray it on the foliage. But I'm going to spray it on the foliage this time. And if you, like I said, I'm just spraying the foliage, which is the leaves. I'm also spraying my tomato plants. Look at
I'm out here. I'm going to start cutting some of the leaves, the big leaves around my grapes, so they can get more sunlight, because they're not going to ripen if they can't get sunlight. And my branches got so heavy that they fell over. I had to do a little makeshift fence here, and it's not allowing them to get enough sunlight. So I'm going to try to go through, cut the big leaves off, and hopefully that'll give them enough sunlight and they'll start to ripen a little more. I really don't know exactly what I'm doing, honestly, but I know I've got to get some of these leaves out of the way. I hope I'm not damaging the plant too much, because I've been cutting and cutting, and I'm gonna do a lot more cutting, but my grapes have got to get sunlight, and these big leaves are just blocking them, and it's been this way for at least a month now. So hopefully I'm not damaging the plant too much. Okay, I really cut them back. I'm gonna stop now because I'm afraid since I really don't know what I'm doing, but I've just tried to take some of the leaves off to give them more sun and to give them more of an airflow because it was so packed in there. So I'm gonna monitor this the next couple of days and see how it goes. But as you can see, I cut a lot off. Got a lot to clean up. But I hope this gives it enough airflow and enough sunlight.